go ahead and show you what we're going to start with, the board vision puzzles. Now, just a reminder how these work, I'm just identifying what they're asking for. So in this case, hanging pieces. In this case, let's see, any pieces that are being attacked. This is definitely hanging because it's a queen. You can't lose a queen with an attack like that. Pawns that are under defended, so more than one attacker. This has two attackers and two defenders, so it's not that one. I'm gonna guess this one. Okay, well. And tap on the pawns which have no defenders. I saw this one already, and black had a few here. This one. I think I'm missing one. Probably this one. Okay, let's go ahead and do another one. We're gonna do two of these. And remember, we're just identifying what they're asking us. So here, there are three undefended pieces, whether it's white or black. This is undefended, this is undefended, and this is undefended. Which one? Pawns which have no defenders. One, two. Wow, what a pawn chain. 3, 4. Okay, not bad. Next, we have visualization training. So this kind of thing is tough to see, but essentially you already have the two pre-moves. They just haven't updated the position, so you have to just try to find the move. I think this is white to move. I think white threw a check and then it's defended, so I think it would be take and maybe push the pawn. Let's go ahead and try that. We'll do rook e1 to e4, so something like this, and then we push the pawn a5. Okay, so this is the next puzzle that we got. Let's go ahead and press the play button. So it's a check to the queen, and the king moves. Well, yeah, I would see that it's going to be queen h7, and then queen h8, and that should be mate. Okay, pretty good. Ooh, Blunderbatcher makes me so nervous because I take unreasonably long, but I learned that there's more than one correct answer often. So really just pick the main move that doesn't blunder. So that's a big one. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple and see how it goes. So again, just a move that won't blunder. And it's definitely harder than it looks. I'm going to do e4 and just see what's the issue. Okay, good. And the next one, I'm only going to do two, honestly. These are kind of tough for me sometimes. Okay. Similar issue. It's being pinned. Probably castling makes the most sense here. Yeah, I'm just going to castle. I mean, let's just castle. Yeah. So what I'm going to do for these is I'm just going to pick a random opening in a way and just follow along with it. So I just played white a lot. I'm going to just do one black setup. And again, it's just going to be random. So I have gotten d4 a lot now. This is the most recent game, so we'll go over just one line. So these are the two main responses. I would say the most common one I would do is probably just Indian defense. So I'm just going to see how this looks. Okay. So the ones I have covered are knight d2, knight c3, knight f3, and c4. I think most naturally I've seen people do knight f3. So I'm going to just look at this variation that I have. And so in this variation, it just tells me to continue working with the East Indian defense. This is what the East Indian defense is. Essentially moving g6, preparing to fianchetto the bishop on g7, which will help control the center and prepare for castling. So let's see how far deep I go into this opening. Once I do this, it's obvious that I'm going to try to develop this. So naturally, I would think the next best move is either c4 or moving the knight, something like knight c3. I'm sure both cases are good for white, but let's see which line I have focused on. Okay, and so this line that I'm currently looking at here is the King's Indian defense main line, which includes c4. You advance the c pawn, you gain center control. This is something I would even play. Most people would play this. And so I would assume the next move would be f7. Now, I would assume also that there could be other lines. For example, you can do something like c5. kind of like pressuring this pawn immediately and kind of gambiting it away so we can get some fireworks. You can also do, oh no, that wouldn't work anymore. I think there's that Budapest, but this is bought out. So we're going to see what happens when you do c4. Bishop g7, yeah, so natural. I think this would be the most natural way to play this, so that's what I would do. Okay, knight c3. So this is truly the kind of gameplay you would play here. Developing the knight will continue to build control of the center. And the most common one, you could play the Grunfeld, which is scary. This is extremely scary, and I haven't gotten this deep. So perhaps if we do Grunfeld, we get better winning chances, but this is scary. I think castling is the most common way to play. Castling kingside, developing quickly with the intention of launching a kingside attack. Great. So we're going to stick with that, and then, well, I'll finish this later, because I know now from there, you know, no matter what they play, it's just fortifying. You know, you see these moves, c6, d6, c5. These are all great. Maybe c5 will be my main opening, because if I do this, then you get knight a6. Wow. That is so cool. Okay. The other thing I wanted to look for is the model game. So the beautiful thing about this program is that it gives you games that are very similar to your repertoire and just show you good examples of good development and just like smart playing. So let's go ahead and play through a model game, see how I do. Let's go ahead and do the first move. Play the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and assume it's c4. It's not c4, but it's okay. e4 would be the other main one. Okay, so he played e4. The French defense. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, many way to play this. Of course, you can play d4, which is what I normally play. And then this is known as French defense. I would probably play e5 here. I've seen a couple other variations, but this is what I would play. Okay, and then, yep, attacking d4 to undermine e5 makes sense. And then you defend with c3. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, he develops his bishop to d7. That's a pretty standard move. There's a couple ways to play this also. I would do bishop f3. You could also do bishop or knight g3. I'm okay with either. I might even play f4. In fact, just for this case, I'll just show that I'm comfortable with playing this move. Okay, they think it's a little too aggressive. I can understand that. But I play this. That's what they play. Of course they do. I'm playing a master game. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Yep, very standard. This is where bishop d3 comes in because you want to prepare a castle there. This one is also interesting. I guess you could also play b4 here. You could also play a3 here. They're both good, I believe. Both are fine. Let's see what he played. What else could you play here? Guess you can play bishop e2, which is what he played. Okay. Man, it's going too fast. I need to develop. Okay, so let's go back a little more because I'm trying to understand this game too. Developing the bishop, preparing a castle. Yeah, developing knight to e7, and then later f5 to exert pressure on white center. Right, because that's an outpost. Oh, this is a pro move right here. Knight b3 to reroute it to c2. This is insane. Well, I would take back, of course. There's your outpost. Here's my c2. This has been great so far. Okay, so then from here, you get... This side is being defended. I guess you could do knight. You can do a3. You could also castle. I think I would castle personally. That's what he did anyway. Here's exchange. Okay, big brain time. Let's see what I can do here. So this position, it's basically asking you to move your queen. There's really nothing else you can do. I guess I can attack this pawn by moving queen b3, and I wonder if there's any tactics from there. There's not. Good. So then he would do, yeah, trading queens. I feel like at the highest level they would just trade. Yeah, I'm not that surprised if I'm honest. Okay, and now you have these weird pawns, so then you would plan an attack to continue, you know, pestering that side. So something like even a4, I believe, would be good. So that's what I'll do. a3, b4, not b4, no. b3 would be good too. Okay, this is not really. Okay, I'm going to ask for a hint. I knew the bishop had to be moved, but now where do we put this least active piece? Well, the best place it could be, I guess, is somewhere like here. Or, yeah, here. That's about it, so probably this maneuver. And for that reason, yeah. Okay, they developed two. I try to develop one of my rooks at this point. I could also try to attack his knight, because he doesn't have a lot of spots he can go to. But now that he has that bishop developed, he can do that now, so no. Maybe now a4 is good. Okay. I'm going to try attacking the knight and see what it says. It's kind of... No, it wouldn't be good enough. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to ask for a hint. Bishop move. Well, it's not really luck, because this is blunder, this is blunder, this is blunder, so it's going to be this. Okay. Castle, huh?
Okay, let's see what they have to say. Give me a hint. White rook on f1. Yeah, I would trade down the rooks. Trade him. Okay. Well, now I guess. Okay. Hint. King on g1, well, h1. What else could be? I mean, I guess you could do f1. Yeah, honestly, f1 might be better, actually. No, but then you're getting closer, so. Wow, he actually went this way. Interesting. Damn, I don't know. I just... Wow, he did trade. Ooh, which way? Hmm. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just play next one because once I told myself once I get 20 checks, I'll just see how the moves go. So this next move, I'm just gonna say hands now. Bishop on b4, yeah, I would trade. Oh, king moves up. Oh, what else would you do? Is there a maneuver I'm not seeing? I definitely think king would move up. No, this is really interesting. Yeah, I need a rook. Open files, right? So it'll be this one. Yep. And then maybe the bishop. No, rook. Wow. I don't really know. What would the next move be? Yeah, okay. That's the only rook left, I guess. Yeah, that's the only thing I can do. Okay. Rook trade. Simplifying. Pawn attacks. Pawn attacks again? Jeez. G2. Mm-hmm. Jeez, I'm getting all these. Okay, these pawn breaks are the toughest. 'Okay, now we go on to the lead chess analysis. Correct. So, first thing I want to do is practice the coordinates for both white and for black. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's do white and see how we do. A7 is here. D5. G7. T7. G8. 14 ain't bad. And I will do one for black.
Shoot, I can do better than that, but next time. Alright, now we'll move on to the 2 move mates and the 3 move mates. Let's go to puzzle themes. We'll do a couple of mate and 2s. I see Queen G6, check, and then regardless of where the king goes, Queen G2 mate. Nice. Okay, we're gonna do one more. I see F4 check, King F5, G4 mate. Nice. Oof, that's crushing. Alright, and then we have mate in 3s. Let's just do one. Oh, this is mate in 3. It's gonna be something like Queen F1 check, King D2. Oh my god. Black pieces in all the puzzles. No, okay. pretty good. I missed a couple. Let's see, this one. So this was the right one. Wow. And this one. That'd be pretty cool. Okay. That's pretty good. Finally, the last thing is a little bit of a chess mantra and just some reminders. So, my chess mantra is just do your best, clear your mind, play what you know, and remind yourself the 5 rules of chess crimes. First rule is don't play shallow openings. That's why we go through model games, so you can see a full game. Next one will be give pawns a chance, especially when we're not knowing how to advance. The third one is leaving the B and G 2 and 7 pawns for the taking. So basically leaving them hanging, not defending those corners properly. Number 4, ignoring the threat on your side of the board. So typically when the pieces are on my side and I don't address it soon enough, it'll become a huge problem. So we got to address it ASAP. And the 5th one is not being more attentive to the positional restriction moves instead of a forced attack. We just saw that with the model game before, so hopefully we can do something similar. Alright, that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the blitz. I'm going to need absolute silence, so I'm going to be playing this entire thing in silence. Alright, let's go. Really? A Traxler attack, dude? This guy has never done Traxler attack? Well, allow me to demonstrate. This is a mistake, is it not? Whew. Dude, I was in a tight time control, dude. That was scary. Oh my goodness. Let's look at this Traxler game. That was amazing. Okay, so e4, e5 now. Bishop's opening is so common nowadays. I only play f6 at this point. Knight f6. He plays knight f3. Transpose into the Italian. But he's leaving this hanging. But I don't take. Instead, I develop my other knight. Transpose into a two knights game. And this guy, of course, they can't stop playing this game, which I guess I can understand. Knight g5. Just unbelievably annoying. You take the initiative and you do Traxler. They don't know which way to take because they're an idiot. So they take that way, and now we're suddenly in the Traxler kind of gambit. And he didn't play this well. He played the worst move from here, which is king f1, because then, yeah, the queen is a threat.
So immediately in the opening, he's out. He did do queen f3, which is a good move, and I did find the best move. Yes!
Even in a blitz game, I found it. Yep. He has nothing else here. I did the best move, man. I can't believe how well I played this game. I literally did the best move out of all these. I'm literally cracked. Man, I played as good as I could. Oh, that was dirty. That's dirty. Man, I love this opening for that reason. I played this so perfect too.